League of Legends is huge because it has a combination of PvE and PvP gameplay elements. One of the things that made World of Warcraft forever etched into history was its innovations in PvP. Stay tuned during this episode because we are going to be checking out a new game that just launched its PvP and its first iteration is already making waves. What are we talking about this week? We talk about Big Time every episode, but Big Time has done something this week that is worth talking about as the game of the week. So we're going to break down the gist of how PvP works in Big Time. The crypto alt cycle is starting to ramp up and multiple altcoins are already up hundreds of percent this past week. Bitcoin is making another attempt at 100K right now as we speak. So will it happen? Let's talk about that. Openloot token price has increased 100% just pretty much today. So we have to check out Openloot token price. It's going crazy. Bossfighters NFTs are now available for rent on the Openloot Marketplace. So let's jump right into it. But before we get into this episode, I just want to take a quick segue and talk about our sponsor. It is me, because somebody has to. Along with all the other things that I do, I have resurrected my online store, blockchain.me. You can find all sorts of crypto themed art and memes on high quality items that are perfect for starting conversations at your day job or maybe at that next event that you guys are going to be going to. Web3 apparel that starts conversations. Blockchain on Me is full of apparel designed to capture the current vibe of Web3. We have the cryptocurrencies collection. Here is the Bitcoin Nomad bag. Super awesome. I have one of these. I use it every time I go traveling somewhere. Bring it to all my events. Super awesome. I love all the cryptocurrency collection and how it turned out. Collaborated with an artist to make this all happen. Pepe collection. Everybody needs a little bit of a Pepe in their life. Got the Be Nice Man slogan there on some different types of shirts for men, women, and some bottles and cups. Got some stickers. We also have the GM cult collection. Just a few items right now. We might add some more back, but you know, you got GM Inception, GM inside of the GM. Everyone loves the GM coffee. If you're a daily Twitter poster like I am, part of the GM cult, then maybe you want to check this out. Of course, we have to have the HODL collection. Nice and simple. So all these items have free shipping worldwide for purchase over $120. And if you guys are looking for a discount, I'll leave a 15% discount code in the comments down below. Let's jump right into talking about Big Time PvP. We mentioned last week that it would be launching December the 2nd, and it did for some people. It launched at 7 p.m. PST December the 2nd for me. So for the other half of the world, it technically launched December the 3rd, but we're not going to get into the minutia. It was one of those launches where so many people were trying to play that the servers could barely handle it. It was good to see so many people playing, but it was nearly impossible to get into a server on day one. They've since put out a hot fix and things are a lot more stable now, so all of those sort of problems are resolved. Let's take a look at this Big Time PvP FAQ. What is this? Game mode, PvE, VP, PvE, battling AI enemies with PvP. We all understand that. How does a PvP match work? Players start with a temporary level 10 pocket watch for their chosen class. Teams appear in separate sections leading to a large open area which culminates in a central arena. They then have access to a large area within which 4 guards must be defeated in order to have the opportunity to fight and capture and control the central arena to secure victory. So the 4 guards, I think they actually like give you a buff. If not, they just give you like a lot of XP, which is super important if you want to succeed in your PvP match, because you want to try and balance killing mobs with also fighting other players in the PvP. So how many people can participate? Up to 4 teams of 6. So it could be 6v6, v6, v6. It could be 1v2, v4, v6, you know, that kind of a thing. Or it could just be 2 teams, 6v6. The classes are available: Time Warden, Shadowblade, Fixer, and Chronomancer. Teams can consist of any combination of classes, but it's important to note that once you choose your class, you're stuck with it. So you can't switch your class once you start. There are no NFT requirements for PvP, which is great to see. There are free dungeons and there is Big Time token entry fee dungeons. The way that the Big Time token entry fees work is that every team, say, will pony up 15 Big Time tokens, and then the winner of the PvP match will take that entire pot and it'll get distributed evenly amongst all of the winning team members. So that's pretty exciting. Match scheduling and registration. This is the most cumbersome part of the whole PvP situation in Big Time so far, and I really hope to see that they improve this over time. I think one of the reasons why they're doing these scheduled matches like this is probably because they just want to make sure that there's enough players and they don't know, they're worried they probably wouldn't have enough players to just do matchmaking every minute of every day. So how it works is each region offers 4 scheduled match times daily with multiple portables available during each time slot. So let's say you go to Frankfurt and they have 2 morning slots and they have 2 evening slots. So as somebody who lives in North America, I might be able to find a PvP match that's about to start when I'm playing, say at like 9 p.m. at night, easier than if I was trying to go into an LA server. The other issue with this is that the registration for these PvP matches opens up 12 hours before the match actually starts, but I don't really think that a lot of players will be actually signing up with their team 12 hours before on a regular basis. What people tend to do is they sign up like half hour to an hour before the match, and what you end up having is your PvP party will just kind of go to all the different servers searching for a match that's scheduled about to start that has an extra slot that you can register your team in. So to me, this is the most cumbersome part of the PvP. I do think that they'll probably make some improvements over time. Something else that's important is that once your team is locked in, you can't change the composition of your team, so you can't like swap people out. But it does seem like, from what I was able to see, if you lock in as a party leader, you can lock in with just yourself, and then you can build the party closer to the time that the PvP match is about to launch. That's what it seems to be happening there. What are the basic rules? Victory is achieved by capturing and holding the central arena zone. It doesn't mention this, but I think that another win condition could be you just take out all of the other teams, because if there's no other teams, then you win. And that also points me to the next point I want to mention, is that on your team, if your whole team gets eliminated, you're out of the match. It'd be like the same thing as failing a prestige or a normal dungeon. If you have one guy left and you find a revive shrine, you can bring your whole team back and you can have a huge redemption arc. But if your final member gets eliminated, you're out, you're done. So that's something that's really interesting. Economy and rewards. So I already kind of mentioned this, that if you're playing paid match or you're paying with big time tokens, then the winner of the entire PvP match takes the whole pot. There are some pretty crazy portal entries. There's ones that are like for 14 big time tokens, but there's other ones that like 120 big time token entry per person. And I've even seen ones that have 3,333 big time token entry per person, which would be insane, because the winning potential pot would be ginormous. But who knows, maybe people will actually do it. A really high stake, but could be a lot of fun. Loot system. What rewards can I earn in these PvP portals? Primary rewards include a share of the match rewards. Players may also discover NFTs and premium currency. It still remains to be seen to me. I don't know if anybody else has figured this out. Let me know in the comments if you can wear hourglasses and loot big time tokens in PvP. I'm not sure. I don't know if you'd want to. So if you guys have actually managed to loot an NFT during PvP, also let me know. I'm really curious to know what kind of stuff is dropping in there. There will be future leaderboards and seasonal events that may include PvP elements, and what future PvP elements are planned. We aim to continue evolving PvP gameplay in big time, including potential new game modes and features. So that's what the FAQ says. I've only been able to play one match so far, but from the gist of it, this is like a really crude map drawing that I came up with just to give you a really rough idea about how the game works. Each team starts in its own sort of cordoned off section. They have one objective that they need to complete, and they also need to kill 200 mobs before they can enter into the main area, this main area here. And each team is trying to do this. The first team who gets in here will have a huge advantage, because then they'll be able to find and take out the guardians, and the guardians definitely give you a huge advantage in the game if you're able to take them out as a team. So definitely worth sort of trying to strategize about, are you going to spend a lot of time in the tendril like grinding and leveling up, or are you going to quickly finish your objective and get into the main area so that you can start working on taking out these guardians and not have to worry about PvP right away. It's pretty exciting stuff. We're definitely going to be posting some videos about it as we learn more about big time PvP. It's a huge deal. It's something I've been looking forward to for years now, and I'm super stoked. There's also this little video that they put out, so let's watch this. So very exciting stuff. Moving on. The altcoin cycle is upon us. Some people weren't sure if we even get an altcoin cycle this bull run, and those doubts are so gone. We have this article by Cryptopolitan talking about how the internet searches for altcoins has seen a 3-month high. While Bitcoin is still relatively flat, the altcoin market is now back in focus among retail traders. Well, one of the main indicators of an altcoin cycle is Bitcoin dominance, but it's not the only indicator. So on top of, Google searches and being able to see just generally what sort of altcoins people are searching for, we can also look at this indicator, which Bitcoin market dominance is not the only sign of an altcoin rally. Instead, market breadth, the number of assets trading above their Bitcoin counterparts, paints a different picture. So basically how this indicator works, so right now the market breadth indicator is at 67%, means that the altcoins are in consolidation phase. However, other analysts, including Dan Crypto Trade, says that the true altcoin season starts when this metric is above 75%. So how does this work? At 75%, that would mean that 75% of altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin in the past 90 days. So right now, 67% of altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin, and we will probably see that increase even more. We have this X post by Dan Crypto talking about Bitcoin dominance. He says that Bitcoin dominance has retraced the past 4 to 5 months of upside in just 2 to 3 weeks. So what that means is that people are rotating their profits from Bitcoin out of Bitcoin and into altcoins. And this is what alt season looks like. And it's often in such a violent fashion as we see here. I'd argue there's still room to at least move to that 52% over the next few weeks. So we will see profits moving, people moving their money out of Bitcoin and into altcoins even more over the next few weeks. There's this article by Decrypt that says Ethereum and Doge prices rise as Bitcoin has another close call with 100K. So today we saw Bitcoin try and get up to 100K to get. Today it touched 99,000 and it's still trying to fight for it, but we'll probably see a retracement over the next week or so. But let's get into talking about these altcoins, bringing Ethereum, Dogecoin, and other top assets along for the ride. The leading cryptocurrency didn't quite hit the target, however, with Bitcoin peaking at $99,329 so far Wednesday as of just before 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's the highest since November 22nd, when Bitcoin set a current all-time high at 99,645. So we're just below the all-time high. But while Bitcoin was on the rise, other major assets followed suit. Ethereum rose to a 6-month high mark of $3,892. We also have Dogecoin, which is pumping like crazy. My Dogecoin bags are doing quite well. Jumped up to 43 cents today. But other tokens, especially metaverse and gaming tokens, are going crazy right now. Sandbox is up to over $1 per token right now, up 27%. And we got Gala up 20%. All sorts of amazing gaming tokens are going crazy, which kind of leads us to Openloot. Openloot has blown up today. It started the day off at about 33 cents and it touched 54 cents before sort of settling down here at 47 cents so far. So Openloot token is mooning. Why is this happening? Blockchain gaming tokens are going to be one of the hottest altcoins this bull season, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. I guarantee you it's going to happen. Blockchain gaming tokens are going to go crazy this bull market. Maybe don't quote me on that. Not financial advice, but you know what I mean. I'm super pumped about them. And the Openloot token just launched like a couple weeks ago. We can see that just literally December the 3rd, it was 23 seconds. December the 4th, 33 cents. And now we're going up to 50 cents. And why is this? Let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. Just a few days ago, November the 30th, the market cap was like $47 million. Today, it's $120 million. And the circulating supply is only at 234 million. So will we see this token go to $1? Most likely. And why is that? Openloot is a token for an entire ecosystem of games. You could liken it to a token like Gala Games. You could liken it to a token like IMX. It's going to continue to put out more games. There's going to be more games joining the ecosystem. And what does this mean? Like, how does the tokenomics work for Openloot? We'll just do a quick refresher. Pretty much the only way people can get their hands on Openloot is from getting OLRP reward points. And every 100 OLRP counts for 1 Openloot token. Pretty much the only way you can get a decent amount of OLRP right now is to open OLRP chests. A couple weeks ago, I wrongly said that Big Time was doing away with the Openloot reward points chests because they had just finished a certain event that was boosting them. They did away with the boosts, but you can still open the OLRP chests. However, they have made some changes recently. It used to be that you only needed to spend Big Time tokens to get OLRP reward points. And now you need to spend Big Time tokens and time crystals to open these chests, which makes it even harder for people to get their hands on the Openloot tokens, meaning that there will not be a huge influx of Openloot entering the market. In fact, there's probably going to be people are going to be taking Openloot out of circulation and putting it on the Openloot market, because if you hold a certain amount of Openloot tokens on the Openloot market in your Openloot wallet, you get discounts when you use Openloot to purchase any item on the Openloot Marketplace. You also can purchase premium currencies like time crystals for Big Time, or flex for Bossfighters, and gems for world shards. And on top of that, you also can get airdrops for holding. So by holding a certain amount of Openloot tokens in your wallet, you become a VIP. So on top of being able to get discounts and being able to use it, purchase things on the Openloot Marketplace, you also get airdrops and a VIP status that gives you a bunch of different perks. So will we see the circulating supply increase very much over the next few months? Most likely not, but there would be one factor that I think would increase the circulating supply that people need to keep an eye out for. So far, the Openloot token is not listed on big exchanges like Coinbase and Binance. And when they do list the Openloot token on those exchanges, Openloot has allocated, as part of their tokenomics, a certain amount of tokens that they would be basically giving to Coinbase and Binance to stimulate for them to have a supply, right? So that could mean that we might see like an extra 100, 200 million tokens enter circulation once we see a listing on Coinbase or Binance. So that would be what I'd be keeping an eye out for. However, with that increased circulating supply, we also have way more money coming in, because then you open up a lot more retail investment and people being able to buy the token on these large exchanges. So probably more circulating supply, but also a higher market cap. So who knows how that's going to work. But the Openloot token is crazy right now, guys. It's jumped up like 100, 200% in the past week or so. Pretty nuts. Definitely something to keep on your radar if you don't already have it on your radar. It's up 272% this week, and it's up 4,000% since it launched. So that's that. Let's take a look at one last Openloot thing. Speaking of the Openloot Marketplace, one thing that you can't use your Openloot tokens for on the Openloot Marketplace is rentals. You can't use Openloot tokens to pay for rentals, but that means you just have to convert your Openloot to cash before you use it to rent things. And rentals are now live for Bossfighters items. Bossfighters items like showrunner contracts, badges, skins, weapon skins, boss skins, things like that. They're available for rent now. And Bossfighters test economy continues to chug along. So if you're looking for a fun game to play with quick matches that will earn you proxy BFT token, maybe grabbing a rental or two might be a good idea. You can rent a badge and some contracts, things like that, and get crafting, get playing the game, and become a serious boss fighter. All right, guys, that is it for this episode of What's New Weekly. If you are watching this in the future, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to tell somebody about it, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.